Hello everyone and welcome back to SAFC Fan TV Extra Time. You've got me and Mike tonight. No Wayne. Wayne's finally allowed some time off, I feel. I think I see him on everything. It's just too much Wayne if you ask me. Mike, how's your day been?
I'm not sure who approved his time off. I didn't see anything about this, you know.
No, I didn't get it coming. I think he's just gone rogue, gone AWOL.
Yeah, all good, all good. It's been chaos on social media regarding the club recently, so I've just been enjoying all that, trying not to get banned off the club.
I know, I've seen a few of them. It does feel like ever since about 2 p.m. on the 6th of January, for no other reason, that everything's starting to go wrong on certain levels. Admittedly, maybe a few days before, if you're talking about decorating as well, and decisions made then. It just feels like ever since that moment, it's sort of been petering along. It's just gone, and we're going to start this steady decline now.
Do you think it's a tactic? If the club cause enough chaos, we'll forget that they've not signed anyone in January?
Maybe. I said to Emma in our group, and I stand by this, we can never just have a normal season. There's Sunderland always do something every year, even if it's just Alex Neil leaves out of nowhere because he gets better stuff at Stoke. And you were like, well, hang on, what, we've just got promoted with you. So it's not a big thing, but it was like a big thing to us at the time of like, what's going on? But there's always something that happens. We've never had a normal year.
I'd love to see a timeline of that. You know, this year, blank season cards, and then you've got the year where we put a sponsor over the top of another sponsor. And
and this is the year that we sacked 3 managers, and this is the year that I think, I don't know if you were there or you were probably a fan at the time though, but the 3-0 over Everton back in the day under Sam Allardyce. I remember at the end of that game thinking, well, one, we've relegated Newcastle, so I was over the moon. But I remember thinking like, God, this is our turning point. We're all fully behind this manager. Like, he loves us, we love it, he gets it. And I think I wasn't the only one in thinking that. Like, I remember thinking, this is it now. Like, I'm not saying we're going to win the league or anything, but I remember just thinking, oh, we finally might have broken this cycle. We've got somebody that everybody loves, and he clearly gets it. And then England went and lost 2-1 to Iceland, and then Sam Allardyce went and got a pint of wine, and it was all gone. Like,
this is it. Yeah, it's
and ever since
I was the same. I was very optimistic when we got him because he was as close to Peter Reid as we've had since Peter Reid.
Yeah,
and the funny thing is, they used to play snooker together down the road from where I used to live. Back when they were players.
We've missed having a manager who's a character, really. And then if you point back to managers that could be classified as characters, you've got Reid, you've got Allardyce, you've got Keane. You could probably put McCarthy in there, but his quality was always not quite to the Premier League level, if you got it. But like, they're the characters we've had.
You're cursed as a manager if you take us to the Premier League, because the first season we go up, we often do not too bad. As soon as you're fighting a relegation battle, they're holding you to the same standard as every other Premier League club. You're not getting a chance.
Yeah, it's not good. Anyway, we've sort of divulged off of our So, hello everyone. We are a bit trying to think of what the word is at the moment. Skeptical, miffed, anxious, annoyed. Lots of negative descriptive words to describe how we're feeling. I saw your live stream on was it Saturday night about Michael Beale, and I have to say I'm fully with you that this man is not the right fit for us.
Nobody can say I was on his back from the start. I'm the one printing posters and putting posters up, you know. Even risked offering to get a tattoo of him for a bet, but that didn't happen.
Bet you're glad you backed out of that one quite quick.
It's not. If you look at the results, for any other manager, I'd be like, give him a chance. You know, give him a chance. Let him get his team sorted. Let him get there, sort of thing. But it's nothing to do with the results. 2-1 at Ipswich is not the worst result in the world for the team we've got. It's him himself. Like, he's not. There's no passion on the side of the pitch. The subs are ridiculously questionable. I mean, the derby, we've not done an extra time since the derby you mentioned, and the derby, no subs till 85 minutes. All them
Because
tired
it was
legs.
going so well for 85 minutes.
Exactly. It's just insane.
I think, what was we lost his first game 3-0 to Coventry, didn't we? And I sort of feel, okay, not a free hit, as it were, but a lot of things had changed at the club within that week, and you can have a bit of a shit the bed sort of day. And we all know that we're capable of them, because every season we seem to have one or two where everything just goes wrong and we end up getting battered, like Stoke at home last season, or Portsmouth away a few seasons ago under Johnson. And we just have these results in us. So you sort of go, okay, fair enough. And then was his next game Hull, and he won, I want to say.
That sounds like a omen, doesn't it? When the next game's coming up.
I know. Wayne's given me his tickets, and even I've asked like 4 people, and no one wants to go. And I'm sitting there going, "Geez, I don't even know if I want to go, really." Like, I like the warmth at home. Do you know what I mean? I like being my armchair supporter that I am now. It's miles better. I don't know. It's just, so we had that, and then I'm struggling with all the results because over his sort of, I think it was just once the derby went into your mind, that was all that mattered, and all the focus was on that one. So I'll pull them up quickly just so that we're aware of where we're at. But the thing is, all our fans of Fan TV will already know them. They'll be screaming at me going, "You're part-time supporter, Conrad. You don't know the things." So we lost 3-0 to Coventry. Mm-hmm. We beat Hull 1-0 on Boxing Day. We drew 1-1 with Rotherham. We then beat Preston 2-0. So he has won 2 games. And then we lost to an unknown team in the FA Cup. And we lost to Ipswich Town the other day. And like you say, Ipswich
who have been
isolation,
second for a long time as well.
Exactly. And they're clearly a very good team. They're managed very well. And they have a good manager as well. They have good players. But the worst thing is they have players that we could have had. Like, it's that thing that you sort of always sit there and you go, like, could have had him. It's not like it's, Messi, Ronaldo, that you're just never going to get them. You're just sitting there going, we had him 6 months ago and we said we should buy him. He could progress with us. Nope, never mind. Then you look at Sims. All right, he didn't score for Coventry, but you're sort of sitting there going, he's putting shifts in.
Yeah.
But that was it for us. He didn't score loads, but he was putting shifts in for us, and we knew where he was.
His experience, he had experience, and the team had trust in him as well. I think that's what we're lacking.
He sort of got his role of, I'm the striker, but I'm not necessarily the goal scorer. Like, that was it. Geldhart got that role, which is very lucky because he can't shoot. Like, he understood that role.
But he can hold the ball up well.
Yeah, I'd have him back in a heartbeat. I think it was Speakman, and I will say his name. I know he's very controversial. Speakman said he was the sort of perfect soldier for us, that he wasn't somebody who was going to, just find the bottom corner of a shot or anything like that, but he was going to bully their defences and let them know they were in for a tough afternoon. Like the West Brom one, when Sirkin equalised, everyone's running after Sirkin to celebrate, and he just flattens one of their right backs off the ball for like no reason. Well, it was a reason he got bullied off of him, but it was just stuff like that. And then at Huddersfield runs 30 yards of the ball and smashes it in the bottom corner. I'm like, where's this been? Like, what's going on here?
A good, strong striker is great for a team, even if they don't score goals, because it pulls defenders away from the likes of Jack Clarke. Because if you look at Clarkey in the last few games, he's had 2 or 3 men around him. Pritchard's starting to get the same. He's always got 2 or 3 men around him because they know that's the goal-scoring threat.
Exactly. And like other players such as Bellingham have had a bit of a drop-off lately, and Roberts isn't there at the moment, which leads me on to talking about Barr at the Ipswich game. I actually thought that was arguably the best performance I've ever seen of Barr. And
the last 5 minutes of the Newcastle game and that game.
Yeah, I said when he came on against Newcastle, I was sat in my house and I had a few mates around. One was a Geordie, but others were neutral. But I said to the neutrals that came in, I went, you're fine to come round, drink whatever drink you want, but you're red and white. Like, I'm not having the neutrals against me as well. Like, he can support whoever he wants, but like, yous are on my side. And when they subbed him on, I went, I said, this is the one thing with Bart. I said, you don't know what you're going to get. You're either going to get pretty good performance, or you're going to get somebody who shouldn't be playing football. And after 5 minutes, the lad who supports Arsenal went, he's actually really good. And I went, yeah, where's this been for like six weeks when we've been going, oh, he's crap, can't play.
But that's the problem we've got is consistency. Look, when Mayenda come on at first, he looked really good. He looked really threatening. Look at Ekwa in the first few games before his, I don't want to say injury, before his dead leg. That's not an injury. That's a playground injury. But we have that like, oh, look at this burst of brilliance. Oh, man, it's gone.
Yeah. Exactly,
and it makes you wonder what's going on in the training ground. I just watched the Roy Keane thing. You know, the 35-minute, what's it called? Mackham's
something. The Miracle something.
Mackham's Miracle. That's the one. I just watched that, and it was very interesting because when he brings in York, it's like, it's that experience. It doesn't talk about his goal scoring ability. It's all about putting that experience onto the lads, and that's what we're lacking.
The squad.
Yeah, we need an experienced goalkeeper to put that on the young goalkeepers. We need an experienced striker to put that onto our young strikers. Who are they learning from at the moment? Don't say Proctor.
Oh, God. Have we got an increase in own goals lately? I mean, we've got 4 strikers, and you're sitting there going, they can't all be duds at this age. Like, they can't all be that way. They've got to have something about them for us to have gone in. Fair enough, Bairstow, he might not be bothered, and he's going back to Chelsea anyway, but you've still bought 3 strikers in that are permanent, and you sort of think, you'd like to think one of them turns out okay. So like you say, who are they going to learn off of? You would expect, if one of the rumours was true with Kiefer Moore, that would be ideal for Hamir to learn off of him, because they're both really tall, both good in the air, and Kiefer Moore could just show him a bit more about clever centre-forward play, about getting ahead of defenders or stealing a yard, or, sticking your elbow in, or, just
professional shithousery.
Exactly. Just something just to do it. I mean, I know it doesn't quite count, but he did play in a World Cup, Kiefer Moore, with Wales, so I know they didn't do very well, but he's still experienced it.
Yeah, is it 40-odd caps he's got? I want to say off the top of my head.
And he's a striker that we tried to get when we were in League One that first season under Jack Ross, when Madger was meant to be leaving. But I think he was asking for money, and we were at that point, you know what Donald and Medvin were like, that they were just, you're not having money. 4 mil on Will Grigg. It's just, And then Mayenda, you sort of go, okay, there's raw potential in there. Rushin, I like your efforts. I really do. Like when he, was it Pritchard's second chance against Newcastle, where he won this header out of absolutely nowhere. Not only won it, but knocked it right down for Pritchard, who just drove at them and nearly found the bottom corner. He's sitting there going, like, you're like 4 foot, but look at the effort you were putting in there. But I think he needs to play with somebody else.
He needs to play regular as well. We gave Burstow, 6, 7, 8 games without producing. As soon as Rushin produces a goal, you're not in the lineup. We've dropped you for Job, who clearly needs a rest.
Yeah, the Job one's getting irritating, because he's clearly been designed to be our poster boy by not only our club, but by media as well. That they're like, we can easily quick 5-10 minute story on Joe Bellingham because his brother's at Real Madrid, so it's an easy win. And then they did that all before the derby, and he was shit for 90 minutes. I forgot he was playing.
And his brother was in the crowd, wasn't he?
Yeah, he changed position 3 times, and I still didn't see him. I don't know how that's possible. It was just a bad. I don't want to talk about the derby.
What do you think we should? I mean, you mentioned more, but I've heard recently that suggestions have been put forward by pundits more than anything is for Clark Harris.
Well, we've tried that, been down that road before. Well, not been down that road before and played for us, but he's always been linked. And there's always a bit of me that thinks when we're linked with a player, 5 years' time, we tend to still be linked with them. We wanted him in League One under Jack Ross. We wanted him under Phil Parkinson. We wanted him under Lee Johnson. We wanted him under Alex Neil. Mowbray was the only one who actually didn't get offered him. And now it seems like, here we go. It's like, do you ever just want to look up a new player and think we've moved on from a striker that didn't quite cut it in the Championship with Peterborough when they came up, or with whoever else he went to? You sort of think, I would rather pull down from the Premier League pull up from League One at this moment. Like
I don't know if you would get the experienced striker from the Premier League though. Would they come down for that? That's the problem. To get that experience, you're either getting a someone who's just not getting game time because they're too old in the Premier League, or
But that's pretty much where Kiefer Moore fits in. That he's not going to play for Bournemouth. I think they've got Semedo, who played for us and was shit, and now is clearly half decent. You've got Solanke, who might be on his way out. That's our only issue. That if they get rid of Solanke, Kiefer Moore suddenly will be further up the order again. But you sort of go, okay, well, maybe even just a loan to the end of the season. Like, he gets his game time. The Euros are coming up, which I believe Wales are in. So he'll be wanting to get game time. They might not be in. They might be in the playoffs, I think. But I'll have a quick look as well. I like doing on the spot research. So Wales, Euro.
Welcome to an episode of SAFC Fan TV. We'll Google that for you.
Yeah. Exactly. Talk amongst yourselves, fans. At the moment. If you're listening on your own, just, have a little.
I'll mention while you're looking that up, because
I think they're in the playoffs. They're in the playoffs by the look of it. So for someone like Kiefer Moore, he's got to be thinking, well, hang on, if I want to be going to the Euros potentially, I need to be playing. And even England players who aren't getting game time at the minute will be thinking that someone like Aaron Ramsdale has got to be sitting there going like, I need to be playing, because at the moment Pickford's got less than any options.
Is his wage contribution going to be the stumbling block? He's on 40k.
Probably, but even if we said, look, the max we can do is 10, they might just go, oh, do you know what? That's 10 grand a week we're saving for 6 months. That's just
but that's counting on them not having any other offers for loan from.
Exactly, yeah. It's
a club that's willing to pay that.
It's a very strange one, and I don't believe the rumours where I see that it goes, oh, we're going to break the bank for him. Why would we break the bank for a loan player? Like
the bank is not that.
No,
surely.
Like, it's just daft. And then it's like, if we didn't break the bank for Stewart, which looks like the complete right decision, either way, in terms of injuries reoccurring and what we would have got out of him, not in terms of what his quality was, because he was clearly a quality player.
Yeah.
Do we then go back in for Diallo? But I've heard that other clubs are going in for it, because one of the reasons he wanted to come back was Mowbray, who's not here now.
Yeah, and reputation-wise, how many players want to play under Beale?
Yes, exactly. And he might get on with him, and he might sort of go, oh, I don't like this bit about him, and he doesn't do this, doesn't do that. It's just... And they always say don't go back.
One of the things the Rangers fans were banging on about when we first got Beale was his signings, and saying that he left the club in a terrible state, signed players that were useless, blah, blah, blah. And that was one of their biggest bugbear, more than the stats.
But the one thing I think about that is he won't be signing the players here. Not in his head coach role. It'll be very much... He might have a say, but he will still be given players like Hamir, Mayanda, and Burst on loan that have got nothing to do with him. You can't tell me that Bellingham was someone that Mowbray identified. Like, he might have thought of him and thought that's a good player, but you can't tell me Mowbray went, we need to be signing Joe Bellingham. It was clearly Speakman and Dodds led that one.
But yeah, I mean, so Speakman must have something about him, because he has attracted some good young talent. But I mean, if you sign 20 young players, 2 of them are going to be decent, right? You're playing the odds.
I think I put a comment in on the show that you did on Monday, and I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but I think it summed it up perfectly, which is KLD and Speakman, thank you for everything you've done so far, because of where we were compared to where we are now. However, if you are not willing to increase, your financial support or even break the model to just get an experienced player in or two, then I think it's time to realize that you've taken it as far as you can go. Because that feels that every one of us is saying that's what we're missing. Every fan is saying that's what's missing from this team. And you, like Ross Stewart last season, he didn't play many games, but he was an experienced striker in terms of he's played for us through the divisions and he's played up in Scotland. He's not a youngster. You get Diallo in, he's a youngster, but he's learning his trade at Man United, and he played in the Champions League for Atlanta. So it's not, he's not just fresh off, fresh out of off his
you
mum.
you can have a 20, 22, 23-year-old experienced player these days when you get them starting at 16, 17 in the adult game. They're starting as young as that now, as we know ourselves with Rig. Experience is not necessarily a 35-year-old player anymore. He could be. I mean, how old's Pritchard?
31.
31. So he's our oldest, I believe. Then is he?
He's the same age as your mate Bradley Dack.
Oh, he doesn't count. I meant players.
Yeah,
not ball boys and water boys.
But that Dack's an interesting one as well. So I know again, I always say in this podcast we get sidetracked very easily, but that's what it's about. Points come up on the fly. So Pritchard is in the last year of his deal, so they sort of went, we need to identify a better sort of attacking midfielder, creative midfielder with a bit of experience as well. Well, let's go for Bradley Dack, and it's like, they're the same age, but Dack's probably more expensive because he was playing in the Championship last season, whereas Pritchard we managed to pick up in League One and probably got it done. So if you're sitting there going, and I've seen Dack a few times, and I can easily say I believe Pritchard is a far superior player to Dack, head and shoulders. So why wouldn't you just go? They're too similar. Like if you'd have not got Dack and still bought French Dave and Bellingham. And you sort of go, okay, well, you've got your two youngsters in there and your experienced one. That's your sort of thing. I was going to say Demba Ba. Abdullah Ba can still play that role as well. So you're sitting there going, well, you've got him in. That's fine. Roberts can play there. Clark can play there at a push. Why did we need him?
9 can play there.
Yeah. Why was he a necessary signing? Or was it just a literal one of, let's just appease Mowbray. There's a player that you had.
Yeah, well, I think he might have had an input into that. And I mean, I was shocked to play an old Football Manager and Dack be worth 16 million. I've never rated him. So.
he did have a season where he was all right. I will say.
Yeah.
He's not been the same after his injury though.
Well, only time will tell. I don't know if we're gonna sign new one. I think the good news for the transfer window is Football Insider is saying that West Ham would not meet Sunderland's 20 million asking price for Jack Clark this month. They don't believe it's possible in January. And it's too complicated of a deal. So keeping him to the end of the season could be good.
Yeah. It's hard to sort of say the sense against without talking about the Mags, but I thought the way he played against Trippier was going to put a lot of people off, how easily he was pocketed by England's fourth choice right back, really. Third if Reece James is injured. And it was just how easily he was taken out of the game. And then you look at West Ham, I'm trying to think who they've got up on the left side, but I'm sure it's no slouch out there who's on that sort of side of the pitch for him. But even then you've got Ben Rama, you've got Antonio, Bowen, maybe over Antonio now, but they've got great players.
It's the question as a player: do you want to be in Sunderland's first team, or do you want to be in a Premier League trying to get a place?
Yes, exactly, and I think this is that same issue we had with Madja, where do agents get in on them, going, well, if you get in there and you do this, like. In Jack Clark's head, he gets promoted with us and comes up with us, I assume. Like, why would you ever go, I just want to do bang average and get moved to a different team? You would sort of go, well, let's just do the best we can and, go from there. I don't know. It's all money as well and agents' fees and things like that. Because don't forget, he went to Tottenham from Leeds quite quickly after coming onto the scene. And then that didn't work out, so now he's at us. So you'd like to think maybe he sort of goes, do you know what? Am I going to go there and actually play, or am I going to go there and just get lost in the shuffle?
I think it will boil down to money, but I'd like to think he's one of those players who wants that screen time, play time. For one of the Championship clubs, we're getting a lot of airtime on Sky recently. You know what I mean? And he's getting showcased.
I actually almost thought the other day, I went, "There's too many games on Sky, man. Like, just calm down. Put someone else on. Watch Plymouth Argyle, man."
But he's drawing the crowd, and we've got players like that are drawing the crowds, I suppose. So maybe that's why. But Patterson's the other rumor, isn't it? going round.
Yes, I saw Liverpool, but I think that's because Kelleher's deal might be up, or he might be going, I actually want to go and play first team football somewhere.
Yeah, well, that's not just Liverpool now. That is now City and Arsenal apparently are both looking at him as well.
So
that is three big clubs.
But Arsenal want to play out from the back, which, as we've clearly seen, Patterson is not comfortable doing. City would want him to play out from the back, which, as we've seen, he's not really comfortable doing.
Is he not comfortable doing that? He doesn't know how to kick. That's all he ever does.
I don't know. I mean, he's not Pickford. I think we got spoiled with Pickford in a season and his distribution. That's what it was.
Yeah. We've had some great keepers over time. That's the thing.
Yeah,
we've had some amazing keepers at the club.
I think Liverpool's probably his best option because they actually do play their second keeper.
Is Alisson still there first?
Alisson's still number one, and he's probably the best keeper in the world. But then you've got
must be getting on though.
No, he's still fairly. Again, let's go back to Conrad Googles.
We're very prepared for this. You can tell this is all scripted, can't you, fans?
He's 31. He's younger than me and you.
No, that doesn't mean anything in football years. Me and you between us.
He's got maybe another 10 years to go, like for a goalkeeper. Maybe not at the top level, but certainly up there. I don't know.
Maybe a swap deal for Alisson then.
Yeah, that's what we need. Watch him start dropping the ball into the net or something like that. I don't know. I like Patterson. I really do. Yes, he's got his shortcomings, but
he's a great keeper. I think he just needs competition for place, and he needs an experienced goalkeeper to help him.
Yeah, I think that's the case as well. But do you remember when we had Ben Anik and we brought in, was it Darren Ward, to be like, you're the experienced number 2, you're going to help him get through this. And actually, after 6 months, we went, Darren Ward's miles better than Ben Anik. Why would we bother him with this? And Darren Ward was class, actually, for us, really good. And then we got promoted. We bought Craig Gordon. No, we bought Martin Fulop in. And then we got promoted. We bought Craig Gordon in, didn't we?
Yeah, Craig Gordon. Most expensive. Price
Martin
paid
Fulop,
for
God rest his soul.
That was... the thing is with our club at the moment is the worrying thing is the model we've got is we bring in these young players. What do we pay for Jack Clark? 750,000.
Something like that.
So somebody comes in with 15 million. Is it all money to this club? Are we going to cash in on all these players?
I seem to remember reading there was some sort of thing of like it's not 50%, but it's like 30 or 40% of the next sale of Clark goes back to Tottenham. So. Right. It's how we did a lot of these deals, I think, where we got around stuff where we were like, we'd give you half the money that we get for him if we can have him for cheap now.
Even at that, 15 million, even if you're giving 50% back, you know, it's 100.
I know, but when you talk like, we talk 7 million, you've times your investment by 10, but is that what we're getting at?
Yeah, I'm getting at, is that what the club model is?
Probably.
They're out to make money at the end of the day.
I think they're out to make money, but to, I hope, at some point reinvest it.
Where did the Stewart money go then?
Exactly. Where did the money for the banners go? No, sorry, I won't bring that up.
That's where the Stewart money went.
Yeah. I don't know. That's what we've not seen. And it's interesting to see where that would be. Unless they're sort of going, we don't do any business in January unless it's like... Because did we get anyone in January last season?
Lawneys, I believe. But did we actually buy anyone? I'm not sure.
I don't think anyone came in, especially in January last season. I'm not going to do it now. That's 4 that I'm not. That's 4 times I'm not doing it. But like, I'm trying to think. We had like Ballard was playing, Elise was playing. We had loads of injuries. Geldhart, but that's because Stewart pretty much like collapsed on us, and Sims got sent back, didn't he? Because I remember we were all still moaning, going, we bought Geldhart in, but I think we were going after him regardless of. So Sims went back, we got Geldhart in, Stewart got injured, and we didn't get anyone else.
Yeah, because the rumours were Sims was going back, but then we were going to do a transfer deal, like for a permanent deal with him, right?
But I think he played a couple of times for Everton at that point, and he scored a couple. So I think that was the sort of like, oh, actually, we're playing, we're in trouble, so let's use him.
Arsenal could sell Aaron Ramsdale, which will leave them in a new need for a new backup.
Yeah, and I suppose someone like Patterson, you sort of think, well, if he's young enough that if he did go, he's got time to sort of get better and work with them, or then come back out again in the future. It's not like a Tom Heaton at Man United where he's 35 and just thinking, I'm a number 3 now for the rest of time.
I half expect this club to sell him for a high price and loan him back the same day.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be against it. I mean, they haven't said any price for him, but considering he literally came through the academy, if you were offered 10 mil, sorry.
And then Bishop's in goal for the next game.
Oh, Christ. Oh, is it? Yeah.
This is the issue.
And knowing the way we've done our managers, we wouldn't have a backup lined up ready to go or anything. It'd just be...
No, it'd be deadline day.
Do you fancy another go? One last dance. Just, yeah. Jason Steele, can we loan you from Brighton? No. Just terrible memories. It's...
I've got visions of wee Philly at the stadium on deadline day going, it's Lionel Perez, everyone.
Who's in a taxi here? Yeah, just sort of stopping any taxi going past the ground. Honestly, just talk a load of shit, really, don't we? So I think we'll wrap up fairly soon because I think we've taken up enough of people's time at the moment with this nonsense.
You're still watching, you're a trooper.
Yeah, if you've got it this far, just comment and say what he is even gibbering on about at the end. Like, it's just...
Where was Wayne to police this crowd?
Yeah, Wayne, come back and help them. So I mean, I know we've got Hull on Friday. So on Thursday night live, we'll probably talk about Hull more. Should be 4 of us on. Special guest? No, it's not wee Philly. He is still part of the channel. It's just taking some time away at the moment. There, so got a lot of things on at the moment. So we're keeping it going for him, but he's very much still part of things here. Hopefully, I think so far I said it was yourself, Jacob, and Jack on Thursday, and then we'll potentially a special guest. Oh no, I said there was a special guest. There is definitely a special guest, 100%. Unless he drops out, don't drop out. If you're watching now, do not drop out, mate. So, go on.
Yeah, with the Hull game, I know we'll touch on it on Thursday. But do you think we'll bounce back briefly?
No, maybe. I mean, we beat them under Beale anyway, so that's a real insult to them. I don't know. I think we need to because, I mean, I know he lost the derby and the league, the streets above us at the minute anyway. So it's sort of like you sort of go, okay, but because it's the derby, there's extra scrutiny on you, and because of how you approach the game, there's extra scrutiny on you. So when we look at the 4 games before, 2 wins, a draw, and a loss, you sort of go, okay, you're fairly new. And now you're looking at 2 losses, 2 wins, and a draw. 3 losses if you include the derby. I think he needs it. And I think he needs a little bit of a run and a little bit of consistent points getting on the board. I haven't even bothered looking at the table as to where we are. One, because I don't want to annoy myself. But everyone is just so tight in together that I think even if we lost a few, we'd still be in and around it anyway. The top 2 are gone for us, though. We're not going to be daft about that. But
do you think we're too soon in calling for his head? Because you joined the live on Saturday and you saw that the consensus was be out. I'm not going to say the whole thing because I don't want to upset the club.
I didn't. It's not because of the derby. It's just because of how I think we're going backwards. I don't think we're any better. And if you were going to sack Mowbray, you had to do it to get a better person in. And you've brought somebody in who's not doing any better for us. It's just the football is less attractive than it was under Mowbray. And Mowbray was playing good football last season, okay football this season because he didn't have the same players. But we were doing all right, and we still had we had no like amazing goals, but we were still, playing pretty well. and it just screamed of, oh yeah, you'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're here. That's fine.
The fact being, not as a fan, as a level-headed board member, that's a massive bullet to bite if you fired him so soon.
Who else have we fired once in the same season? Was it Wilkinson's gone in the same season? I don't think it's been a long... Oh, well, Simon Grayson. And technically, Chris Coleman went in the same season.
Yeah, that was a bit of a...
That was the ownership thing, though. That wasn't it? Just get him out now. And then ever since then, it's been... I always say this. I'm like, I just want a manager to come in. If he's going to come in, you come in during the summer. You get your whole pre-season to get your message across, and you start with them. Yeah. It just always seems to be we sack someone in the middle. They get a bit of time. They maybe do it. They don't quite do it. And we go, we'll give them the next season. Be all right. And then it doesn't quite go well, and we sack them, and we start the process again. We never seem to get them from the start to an end. So,
yeah. I don't think he'll be going anywhere anytime soon because I don't think they would bite that bullet.
I'm happy to be proved wrong. I just, from what I've seen so far, it's one-dimensional football. You don't know how to get a striker put in there. You're relying on Jack Clark to dig you out of holes. And as we've clearly seen, he might not be around much longer. And what are you going to do then? Because I don't see where our other goals come from at the moment.
On a positive, I don't know how true it is. I just read it. No, we are 2 points better off now than we were this time last season.
We did do better in the second half of the season last year, though. I think it was a bit more. We were turning losses into draws last season in the second half of the season, which is what we did really well. And then obviously draws into wins. But the first half of the season, we would lose a couple, then win and draw, and then lose one. And it just sort of, we keep points ticking over. That's the main thing. Keep points ticking over. We'll not be far away because the league's too tight to get really far away. And I think there's too many at the bottom that are really far away for us to be that worried.
Yeah, I'm not worried about relegation at this point. I mean, touch wood, obviously, but it's the expectation of playoffs now, right?
Yeah, and just seeing what I don't know. Don't even know what to say. Just seeing what turgid shite comes out next.
Stand by your beds.
Exactly. Right, but thank you all for listening. We'll get Wayne back on next week to get some sort of order back into how we do this. But if you like our format, please tell us, and we'll tell Wayne to shove it, and he can just join in with our one as well. He'd probably be laughing listening to that while he's out in Qatar doing his interview for, what was it, BN Sports or something? Yeah. We're all over the place. We're global. So we didn't mention it at any point during the video, but please like, share, and subscribe to SAFC Fan TV. We are available on Spotify. I don't know when this episode will be going on Spotify because I don't know the logins, and Wayne does. So I will very much get this on YouTube and hope you all listen to it there. Do you want to say your goodbyes and final thoughts, Mike?
Yeah. Final thoughts is trust the process. I don't know, it's difficult to say, but let's try and stay on the positives. We're 2 points better off than we were last season. Let's give him a chance, a few more games under the belt, and then we'll know if we're going to go for his head. But appreciate you watching. Don't forget everything Conrad said, like, subscribe, and all that jazz.
Cool. And any final thought from me would be, I'm not picking on him. Just actually take a look back. Sit back and just watch and just think, is this better than where we were 12 months ago? That's pretty much how I'm looking at it. So thank you all. We'll see you again on Thursday for Thursday Night Live. So tune in then, leave us a comment. You'll get it read out if it's a good one or if it makes us laugh. Tell us that, Jacob is, an Arsenal fan in disguise or something like that. It's fine. We love all of that.
And get your messages across to Amad Diallo and convince him to come back, because that's the difference.
Yeah. Tell him that Mowbray's just had, got really young, and that's what Beale is. That's, he doesn't need to know. Right. Take care, everyone. We'll see you again next time.